Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be looking at my top 10 games of 2014. And just a small disclaimer, these are not 2014 releases, these are just the top 10 games that I played this year. So, you're not going to see stuff like Destiny or Titanfall. One 2014 release did make the list, and you'll see that later on. So, without further ado, let's get started.
At number 10 is Thousand Arms. Even though I found the combat dull and way too easy, I still enjoyed the hell out of this game because of its charming characters. The dating sim mechanics were quite fun, and it also featured some beautiful hand-drawn sprites and some very creative enemy designs. Too bad there was never a sequel, because I would have loved to see another game like this with better combat. Next at number 9 is Mario Kart 7. Having not played any Mario Kart since Double Dash on the GameCube, I was blown away by the amount of tracks on here. Of course, it featured lots of classic courses, but also added some great new ones like Luigi's Mansion. Also features a great online mode. Can't wait to play Mario Kart 8. Castlevania Order of Ecclesia is at the number 8 spot. The last of the DS trilogy changed things up a bit by having you explore several smaller areas before reaching Dracula's castle at the end. It also featured a glyph system, which functions as your weapons, and also allows you to absorb enemy spells. One of the toughest Metroidvania titles, and also one of the best. The next two games were played on emulators. First, at number 7 is the classic Master System RPG Phantasy Star. The 3D dungeons in this game were very basic, but incredibly fun to explore. It was also cool you got to play as a female protagonist, and I really enjoyed traveling to different planets. A simple RPG by today's standards, but way ahead of its time when it was released. At number 6 is the other game I emulated, Super Metroid. This was an amazing action game with some really cool weapons and abilities. The excellent soundtrack greatly enhanced the isolated atmosphere. One of the best games on the Super Nintendo. Number 5 is the only Wii game on the list, Geometry Wars Galaxies. This took the simple addictive gameplay of the original Retro Evolved game and enhanced it with level goals, and also added geomes, which acted not only as multipliers, but also let you purchase new abilities for your drone. You can access some extra levels by connecting with the DS version of the game. Next up at number 4 is Rez. This is one of the best and unique rail shooters I have ever played. The game is short and the gameplay is relatively simple, but the gorgeous graphics and hypnotic trance music make it one of the most immersive experiences I've ever had with a game. At number 3 is the 3DS RPG, Bravely Default. This was the first game I played on the system, and I fell in love with it immediately. It felt very much like a modernized version of Final Fantasy V. The job system was fun to mess around with, and they made some tweaks to the turn-based combat to speed things up a bit. The only thing I didn't like was how the second half of the game was presented. Still one of my favorite games this year, though. Number 2 is another portable RPG, Radiant Historia. Time traveling was the main theme of this game. You had to hop back and forth between two timelines to fix history. The story was amazing, it had a great ending, and an outstanding soundtrack by Yoko Shimomura. The best RPG on the DS, in my opinion. My number 1 may surprise some people because it is not an RPG. My favorite game of the year was the Dreamcast shooter Stormwind. After the wow factor of the graphics wears off, you realize that this one is an absolute blast to play. You get 3 different weapons to choose from, which can also be fired behind you. And the weapons also function as your health, each one allows you to take 1 hit. The techno soundtrack was fantastic as well. One of many great games on the Dreamcast, and worth every penny. That will do it for my top 10 games of 2014. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, I want to thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.